Hi, this is Jonathan. This unit is from Nux, and this is the Cerberus. Nice looking packaging. This is like a, it looks like, I don't know, something exquisite. Oh, nice. So it has a kind of foam on the top to protect all the controls. All the manual, the manual and a QC checklist. That's about it. Nothing else in the box. Apparently there's no power supply, there's nothing. It's just this unit, the manual, and that's it. Let's just start from the back. Right, you have a expression pedal, line out to expression pedal. You have an input on this overdrive and distortion section, input, output, lift for the ground lift, right, and a boost on the signal going in. You have a 20 up to 20 decibel boost, right, which can be adjusted from here. You have a USB for you to connect this unit to the computer editor if you choose to, right, which can be downloaded from the website. MIDI in and out, and then this is the modulation, delay, and reverb section where you can actually have adjustment for your signal. You can have it up to plus 4 dB or minus 10 dB, and then you have an input, output, and output 2 phones. This is for your headphones, and then you have the 9-volt supply in, and the power switch on and off. So right now I'm going to go through this unit casually. It's not going to be an in-depth thing. Just play through a couple of stuff and explain to you a couple of stuff. Okay, basically this unit is separated into four sections. You have the drive, distortion, modulation, and the delay. Now on the right hand side you have two foot switches here that control, say for example on the bottom one you can actually tune your guitar by just holding on, and you can just tune the guitar. You can see the tuner, alright, real easy to use. She's kind of sharp. Alright. So you can exit the tuner by just hanging onto the foot switch. And then on the top, you can actually have a selector switch for your presets or your Stompbox mode. Right now, I'm in the Stompbox mode. You can actually hang on to it, and then you'll go to preset mode. Right now, it's in preset mode. You can have 1C, 1B, 1A. All right, it's shifting a bit, so I'm trying to get it in focus. All right. And to go back to Stompbox, you just have to hold on to it, and it goes back to the Stompbox mode. Right, and you can also use this as a tap tempo. All right, so 119 is the tempo right now. If I go slower, right, so you can use that as a tap tempo. Now for the bottom foot switch, apart from activating the tuner, you can actually use this as a sort of a fifth button, you know, fifth foot switch to control certain things right up here. You can have a section of reverb, the modulation effects, or the distortion, or drive, bypass, or a boost. Now in this case, if I were to select a boost, let's say go down here. All right, so I'm in boost. So what happened is that okay, this is the clean signal of the guitar. If I were to activate the boost, it goes louder depending on the there's a sort of a control, a volume knob in the back. You can actually adjust how loud you want that boost to be, right? Okay. So I'm going to talk about this later on, but this is what it does on the right for this bottom foot switch. Now you have the drive. So just in case you guys need to hear the original signal, I'm actually running this guitar real clean to the Helix amp simulation, which is a twin reverb. There's nothing in it. There's no compression. There's no delay or reverb whatsoever. No EQ, and it's running through a cap simulator. In this case, I'm using an IR, and that's about it. All right. So let's activate the drive. Right? And then this is a distortion. Now, for this Cerberus, you are given the option of different routings between the drive and the distortion. Right here, if I were to, right now, as the default, I just turn on drive, and then subsequently, if I engage distortion, the drive will turn off and the distortion will come on. Now, there is a way to configure in such a way that if I activate drive and if I activate the distortion, the drive will go into the distortion. In this case, all I need to do is to press this, as you can see right now, right? So I have drive right now, and then it straight away goes into distortion. So it creates a sort of a maximum overdrive. And then you have the option of doing the other way around, where you can actually have your distortion going to the overdrive, like in this case. Which I actually quite enjoy. You can always have it in parallel, where you all you need to do is just just 2 buttons, and then it goes right in the center. This is in parallel mode, where both distortion and the drive are activated at the same time, which is an acquired taste, basically. And it sounds a bit messy to me, so my favorite configuration is still this one. Yep. This is nice. Right? Now, moving on, we have the modulation, where you can have a selection of tremolo on the right hand side, phaser, unit vibe. On the left hand side, you have the chorus, where you can go for the real old school, the CE chorus, and the 80s kind of chorus in the center, and the modern chorus right at the bottom. So let's just play through with the right hand side, which has the tremolo, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm gonna activate this. It's moving around too much, right? In a way. Okay, I'm gonna turn off all on the chorus side. I'm gonna just bring out the right hand side. This is a unit vibe. Right, and then you have the phaser. And then you have the tremolo. And then on the left hand side, you have the choruses. You're going to start with the old school, the CE chorus. Right, and then the 80s chorus. And the modern chorus. And then you have the delay and reverb section, where you can actually activate the reverb through the control switch right here, if you need to have separate control factor or control functions for both reverb and delay. So all you need to do is to select your control to reverb, and now activate the reverb with the control switch. And for the reverb, you can have a choice of what is this, spring, plate, and hall. So right now I'm at spring. This plate. Sorry, this is spring. So right now I'm at spring. This plate. And then this is hall. Right. So I like the plate. Keeping that level a little bit. Yeah. And this is the delay where you can have a choice of the 70s delay, the 60 delays, and the 90 delays. So I'm going to choose the 90s because it sounds the best. So let's just activate the delay right now. And here you can have all your time values. You can have a wonderful selection of which time signature you want to go about. Quarter note, eighth note, 16th note, whatever you want to choose. So I'm pretty straightforward guy. So I'm just having it real straight. So this is how the guitar sound. Chorus. And now the tremolo. So it's pretty nice, Now I'm going to show you how it sounds like with the distortion and the drive, with the delay and the reverb. I'm going to spring right now. Just the overdrive. I want to thank Nux for reaching out to me and sending me this unit for review. Interesting unit. Basically is separated into 4 sections. You have the drive, the distortion, modulation, and delay. And at the back panel, you can have a choice of basically, doing a 4-cable connection to your amplifier if you want to, or just do old school in out into your amplifier. Or you can even hook this up to a computer, using the inbuilt cap simulator, and the option to load in IRs. I play around with the software that was provided free, for Nux, and quite interesting. You can actually load in your IRs, and that will help in some ways on your sound. In practical term, this will work well with an amp. It will work beautiful with an amp. With a connection directly to the computer, you will miss out that middle portion where you have the amp head, you know, the preamp section, and that's where most of the guitar sound is generated from. You know, that's the base of where everything starts, you know. And if you were to hook it up to a nice Fender Twin Reverb or a Marshall or, you know, a Vox amp, you know, that is where you start. That's your basic sound, and then you can start from there. And this unit comes in really, really handy. So what you need to do is probably plug in a compressor beforehand, you know, a compressor pedal, and then to this unit, and then this unit out to the amp head. And using the 4 cable connection, yeah, you are able to like kind of like separate the time-based unit cleanly, so they can be heard distinctly and not be muddled up by, you know, by the rest of the signal flow. So that is interesting by itself. And the fun part of all this, apart from all the knobs and switches that you can manipulate to get the sound that you want, there's also a control switch where you can have a 5th option, you know, other than the 4 option in Stompbox mode. You can have this to activate your reverb, which can be activated like, you know, all the time, or you can have it. You can choose to have it off by selecting the control, and you can also control various other parameters. But the one thing that I really like is the boost. Now, interestingly enough, this boost does not happen pre-distortion, or rather pre-drive. This is after all this drive and everything. In short, it kind of boosts up the signal, the overall signal of this unit. So if I were to have like, you know, distortion going on, or rather a drive going on, and then I'll kick in the distortion for a solo, I could kick in the boost too to kind of like bring up that portion so that my solo can be heard, instead of using a expression pedal or a volume pedal. So you can basically use this by itself playing live, because that's what I did in the old days. I didn't have a volume pedal or expression pedal. I just play with my pedals, and that's it, you know. And any dynamics that comes with it is either through the volume knob on my guitar, or I have a switch where I can kind of boost up the overall level, like, you know, 5 dB, you know, depending on where you want to set. And you can actually set it at the back here. So there's actually a sort of a control for you to kind of adjust how much boost you want. So like I say again, this is post distortion, post drive. Interesting. And that's one thing that I like about this. Again, I need to stress that this unit will sound really great, you know, with an amplifier. And the other capabilities are there. You have the MIDI controls, or you have a, say for example, a ground lift, you know, in case you know you have like 60 cycle humps problems, you can actually have this unit to lift up your ground. It's interesting. So you have your delays up to 990 milliseconds, you know, depending on which delay you choose, and you can have your signal flow. You know, you can configure your signal flow from, say for example, delay to reverb, or reverb to delay, or both in parallel mode, you know, and vice versa. You can also do the same thing with your distortion and your drive. You can have the drive going to the distortion, or the distortion going to the drive, or both of them going to parallel. So there's a lot of configuration options for you to kind of tweak to get that sound that you want. Now, apart from that, the modulation are just a normal modulation. You have three selection of choruses, 3 selection of time-based unit like tremolo, univibe, and phaser. And these will come in handy, and you can actually save all these effects in presets. That's the best part. So you can actually enter into preset mode, where you can have the first preset to have all, you know, the glitz, you know, every effect that you want. Second preset a bit more cleaner, and the third preset you can have a distortion, and the last preset you can have it as a full-blown solo, you know, even with the control or with the boost on, you know, for the matter. And it's pretty cool, you know. But for me, you know, I would use this as a Stompbox mode, because I think that's pretty nice. And the units like this, you know, are multi effects like this will make me want to go back to a real amp. Now I have to explain a little bit about the song that I did. I actually recorded the first 2 solo with the amp, with the Langley. And I found out that the Langley, there's some problem with the Langley. I know after retubing, this amp has been left alone to its own devices for a long time. I need to kind of crank it up again, and I didn't want to crank it too loud. So I found that this is not really conducive. So the second part or the last two segments of the song, I actually play it through the Helix, the Line 6 Helix, which I treat as amp. So I'm playing it through a twin reverb simulation with cabinet, but nothing in the Helix native, nothing at all except the amp simulation and the cab simulation, which I was using in IR. There was no reverb in it. All the reverbs you're hearing is from this unit. So that's pretty interesting. And yeah, I kind of like the sound. So my personal thought, yeah, I mean, if you're a player who plays with an amp, and who doesn't want to carry all this big heavy duty multi effects like the Line 6 Helix or whatever you have, the Factual or the Camper, and those cost a bomb. This is relatively affordable, very affordable. This is relatively cheap. Okay, so if you're looking for something that you can carry to a rehearsal or to a gig, even for a gig, and you're playing with an amp, my favorite amp, either a Fender DeVille or a Fender Twin Reverb or a Deluxe, it doesn't matter. And I can get by even without an expression pedal or with a volume pedal, even though these days I'm pretty used to having a volume pedal, but I can still get by with it with that boost control switch, which is really interesting. So let me know what you think about this unit and put your comment in the comment section down below. This unit has been out for for a while, a couple of years, and there are a couple of videos in YouTube which have very detailed information about this unit. You might just want to check them out if you're interested in getting one of this unit. Yeah, and there's one channel which I particularly like. I think it's called the Pedal Room or the Pedal Guy. I'll put a link down. And I'll put a link down to the price too, because this will be in US dollars, because I do not have the price in Singapore dollars. And like this video, give me a thumbs up and join this channel and be part of Patreon to support this channel. And I'll see you in the live stream later on. So in the meantime, you guys take care, be safe. Ciao.